Hello, my name is Dorian Atkins, and this is my video letter to both the members of the legislative branch of the government and the executive branch of the government on the topic of the stop and frisk program in New York. To the representatives in question that this involves, I ask of you just a simple, not only request, but just something that is a current issue when it comes to this new program. Not necessarily new program, but a program that's been issued in two states of the union of Arizona and New York, where citizens are being randomly stopped and searched. Now, I've actually never experienced this, but I've heard of stories coming from friends and family members about this very topic, and it's kind of disturbing on how the police try to provoke normal citizens into taking up in resisting arrest or other such criminal charges. And to me, this isn't necessarily a good thing, because even though the police are provoking them and causing the citizens to not have respect for law enforcement, they are also infringing on our Third Amendment, on our Fourth, not Third Amendment right, which is quartering a truce, but our Fourth Amendment right, which involves unjust search and seizure. And in the Constitution, it does state that unjust search and seizure without some sort of form of warrant or probable cause is not allowed by any officer of the law. So this search and seizure, our stop and frisk program concept that was brought forward to both legislation, state government of both New York and Arizona, where it was cleared by both their state and local governments, is kind of appalling and alarming to me that if it is passed in those two states, what is it to say that you guys as a whole conglomerate of the federal government can pass it into some sort of federal law disregarding our Fourth Amendment right? Now, to me, this is something that we as a nation should take into serious consideration, because if two states can get away from it, what's there to say that multiple states within the union can get away with this? And my suggestion is to completely ban this program throughout every single state within the union, because if we don't ban this program as a whole, it would be like living in a Gestapo state or Nazi Germany during the 1940s, which is something that which is not only against America's standing and America's honor code, not only our Constitution, but is also against just natural human rights that are given to us as human beings. Let me put it to you this way: the way it goes is that first, you guys, I'm not saying you or the government that currently is in place will do this, but this is how it will eventually lay out for future generations. If one right can be taken away from us, the multiple rights can be taken away from us. For example, when it comes down to first, you guys can unjustly search and seizure things on our person without receiving some sort of confirmation or a warrant. Now, that's a little bit unorthodox in my opinion, and if that is where it starts, then it's going to lead to infringing on other rights, such as, let me put this into perspective, maybe our First Amendment right, which is incorporated freedom of speech and religion. Say, I'm just going to give you a perspective scenario on this when it comes down to it. Say if we do continue this and this becomes a nationwide thing where police can randomly search a person without any real probable cause, like the police officers that are doing this program both in New York and Arizona, that can turn into something that would be detrimental not only to our rights and disregard our natural rights as citizens of the United States within this union. Even in our Constitution, it states that we, the people of the United States, are here to form a more perfect union and work toward the domestic common defense and to approach some sort of tranquility within our own country. And I understand that state laws do have some power, but it is also my understanding that federal law trumps certain state laws and certain state programs that have been placed. And to me, it's like, if the state governments are kind of having an unruly sort of, I don't know the appropriate word to use for that, but an unruly usage of power, then it's going to get out of control, and that's when the federal government needs to step in and take its course here. So what I'm asking you guys is to put into some form of legislature to make an amendment to stop these programs. I understand that multiple times this is presented to both the Supreme Court more than once, and it's been just getting out of hand. I don't understand how these states are able to do these programs without receiving any sort of penalties for these acts. Now, growing up reading the Constitution and going into my government class, I actually have a fond memories of, when I was during my studies, I was able to find myself, feeling a great deal of respect for our country. And now that this program has been instituted, it's starting to turn into a Gestapo state, which is causing my respect to start to slowly dwindle away. So what I ask of you is act on our rights. Okay, make a law or something of that nature to stop this program in its entirety. I understand that we live in a technology age and the Constitution is a little bit obsolete with some of the laws but it is still our right to it is still our right that you are infringing on that was set forth in the Constitution. So not only am I talking to New York State government, I'm also talking to the federal government as well. As you have probably heard me state at the very beginning of this video, that this is for both the president and for the members of the legislative community as well. So, to close, I just have to say this. Please, I ask if you stop this program, because it's getting ridiculous how people are being treated, and there are countless examples of people being mistreated under this program, both in Arizona and New York. Based on research, there are documentaries out there on YouTube currently. So again, I ask, please stop this. Thank you for listening. Sincerely, Dorian Atkins.